Our Father's peace to everyone who catches this message. It's time for a party. Excuse me. Today's party, in today's party, we're going to be focusing on Nomad Studio. We get together around 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today, we got a special treat because we're definitely doing this nomad style. I'm not going to be able to interact the way that I normally do because I'm trying a different platform. I'm able to simultaneously cast from one device. However, some of the uh, it's beyond moderation. Some of the host abilities I haven't had the chance to explore. So right now we're just working on video and audio. At the moment, we are using the speakerphone version, and I do want to test it later as far as seeing how it will do with Bluetooth ear devices. Our daily discussions are about entrepreneurship and service in your community. We have 10 different special interest groups that we talk about, and today's special interest group is Riley Barkley. Now, while the subtopic is Nomad Studio, because actually that's the focus that Riley Barkley would use in order to do an organic marketing strategy for his concerns. And I know you're asking, well, who's Riley Barkley? Well, first we have to talk about, I see there's some people in the room. Shalom Aparak to you. Today's party's going to be a little bit different. I haven't quite figured out how to do the interactions. I am getting notifications that I have comments, so let's see how that works. Cantel Garcia, Shalom Barak to you in YouTube land. Well, look at there. It went from 4 to 13. Shalom Barak. Peace and blessings to all of you. We get together around 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time to talk about entrepreneurship and service in your community. Today, the special interest group is Riley Barkley. Who knows about Riley Freeman from the Boondocks? And who knows about Charles Barkley from the basketball player? Now, if you know about the Boondocks, you know that Riley Freeman is Huey Freeman's brother. I'm a lot like Huey Freeman. If it wasn't for the fact I was born before the cartoon strip was published, then people would say I emulate the character. However, it's the opposite. Character emulates pretty much the storyline of my life, down to a couple of details and not quite so much. Meanwhile, my brother, he's not 2 years younger than me, he's 7 years younger than me. And he's a lot like Riley Freeman. There's some things he wouldn't do, you know. And there's things in the storyline that no, he wouldn't do. And let's just say that he grew up to be the same height as Michael Jordan with the mentality like Charles Barkley. So, as a joke and also proposal, I said, you know what? Nah. If you really wanted to address the warrior spirit that's within me, you'd find out that I decided I didn't want to be that type of serial. You ever heard of the Hashashin? You ever heard of those who move under the cover of darkness and eradicate those who are social deviants? You ever heard about those who walk with a code? It's one thing to be behind a computer screen and type in something thinking you're spouting jokes. However, you don't realize who you're addressing. You should really look at the name. How about I decided not to do that for fun? Be a shadow warrior on the weekends while being paid to do that Monday through Friday. You don't know who you're talking to. And it's something that you should correct. One of my brothers calls that behavior smooth brain syndrome. You don't know me or anybody else in this room, yet you decide to be disrespectful. If my brother were in your presence while you crack such jokes, your mouth might not work anymore by the time he got through pummeling it with his fists or introducing you to the soles of his boots. And it would take me to stop him. And the thing about it is, as I was giving you my answer, my brother is the height of Michael Jordan with the mentality of Charles Barkley, with the build of Charles Barkley. I'm more like 5'10" and built like Bruce Lee, and it would take me to stop my brother from introducing you to something that you would not like. You should choose your words carefully. I appreciate you retracting the statement. However, you should watch what you say and how you say it. You call me a clown and you don't know me either. What if I told you I retired the Joker a while back? You don't know me. You don't know what clicks in the behind the forehead that you see. You don't know what's going on behind the skull. You don't know what's going on as the optic nerves start to fire, which is why we're having this discussion today. We're talking about how Riley Barkley would handle organic marketing strategies as an entrepreneur. You don't know who I represent. You don't off this room, and I always start rooms and end rooms in peace. Father's peace to you. Shalom Barak, peace and blessings. Assalamu alaikum. Bienvenido, welcome to you. You ever gone to a party and acted really disrespectful? How long did you stay at that party? That's on you. Now, it's on you what you do with your trauma in life. Now, if you choose to get triggered every time someone addresses a situation, then that's you being triggered. I should not have to adjust my walk in life because of your trigger mechanisms, especially if it's a trauma. Now, I'm being straightforward. To be honest with you, if you see such a name as angelic discipline, it should make you stop and think. Selah. Now, what is this person talking about? What if I told you I walk under the shem and the authority of Yahweh Elohim? What if I told you that I walk through the guidance of Ravak HaKadesh? What if I told you that my guidance and example for the standard of Yahweh Elohim is Yahshua HaMashiach? Now you have a clue of who you're talking to. I'm not triggered at all. I started a live because we talk on a daily basis, except for on Shabbat, about entrepreneurship and serve communities. To be honest with you, we've been going on for quite some time doing so. It just so happens that today I'm the way to do it on two different channels from one device. Normally, I would be talking with the people in the room in TikTok as well. Right now, I happen to have your focus because the way this program works, I can't necessarily see what's going on in TikTok. This is a test. I'm not triggered about anything. I could spend the rest of the day just having this as a listening party because it's a test. I wanted to make sure that the visuals work and the audio works. We already have a regularly scheduled program. We talk about 10 different special interest groups, organic marketing. Good for you, because that's the word you would use as well. God is good to you. And that means that you also walk in a Germanic language. For me, it is Yahava Ahava, which means Yahava is love. Ahava Ahava, love is love. And how would that work out? Well, that would be all complete compassion, which was displayed from our Creator, Lord of all lords, Lord who created all worlds, the Creator of the day. Basmillahi ar-Rahmani ar-Rahim, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmani ar-Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka nabudu wa iyaka nasta'in. Istina surata al-mustaqim. Surata al-atina anamta alayhim. Khairil makdobi alayhim. Walad dalin. Amin. Have you heard Al-Fatiha? Because you will be asked that on the day of your soul's judgment. And now you can say, yes, I have. In the name of our Father, the creator of all worlds. In the name of our Father, the most merciful and compassionate. In the name of our Father, Lord of the day. May you please guide me by your will instead of those who chose to disobey. May you see the righteousness in me as I walk the divine path. May you help me to learn to forgive others as you forgive me. Amen. The name that you behold is not a name in the characters of Paleo Hebrew script, nor is it in the names that you would find in Arabic. Your name is not a name that I would see as authority. Shem means name and authority. So you can hold on to what it is that you're talking about, or you can go and actually study and find some true knowledge and apply it. Otherwise, I would say you're suffering from smooth brain syndrome. The person who I see and know as the Messiah, if you walked up to him and tried to address him with that name, he would ignore you or look at you with a very puzzled expression because he would not know anything about that name. You see, that's also part of the message from Riley Barkley. You never know who it is you're about to run up on and start speaking whatever it is that's on your mind. You never know what's on their mind at the time. You never know the actual discipline and skill, trade, and restraint that they might have, whether it's mental or physical, let alone what's going on within their psyche, what some would say is their soul or their spirit. Some of it is in how you were brought up. However, we know that we don't just experience life from the household that we live in. We go and we experience life through other people who come from different households, which means that we should be observant enough to realize there are differences. Now, there's what people call a social agreement. That's mores. There's morals, which is a written contract. And if you break the morals, then there's certain punishments. And if you do the correct way, then you might actually be rewarded. But with mores, that's different. It's unwritten rules that if you go over in this house or if you go over to that neighborhood, then you act a certain way. That's mores. If you go to a different country, their customs are different. That's mores. But everybody has the same morals. That's what this is about. Because some people might be seen as a thug when the whole time they're a corporate executive, or at least their mentality is that. That's the reason why I said when you asked that question, I had already stated there are some things that my brother would not agree with that Riley did. You didn't even have to mention anything. You didn't have to say anything because then, yeah, my brother would have already been knuckled up and everything. And I'm just being honest with you. You know, there's a part of communication and conversation that has been lost, whether it's short messages back and forth or, I'm not a hater on emoticons and emojis and whatnot. I'm not a hater on it. However, that's not how I express myself. I'll write out paragraphs to you. You get a whole story from me. My brother is a different story. He's a man of only a few words. Really, I'm quiet. I reserve this time for each day to actually reach out and speak with people. We talk about cryptocurrency and things like that. Oh, you gravy. I don't do drama. No. Look, check it out. If you come in and you make a statement, then yes, I have the opportunity to return an answer. That's called conversation. I'm not mad at you. I'm not trying to fight with you or nothing like that. Like I said, there's a whole other platform going on right now that I'm not even tending to during this live. I don't know who's coming in and out. Some of the people are dear friends, associates, family, and all of that. And this is something, like I said, we do this every day. If it wasn't you, it would be some of anyone. They might have questions from the people who are familiar with me, and then someone else who doesn't know me might have questions as well. There are people that come on YouTube who are regulars who come in to listen. I play music, and we also talk about entrepreneurship. That is the truth. Now, the thing about it is, in business, you don't just sit around crunching numbers all day. The majority of business is ethics. So the words you're hearing coming out of my mouth are words that I say all the time. It's not just you. Just so happens that you're the person in the room. It just so happens that you're the person who initiated conversation. And on that note, I'm about to play some music because there's actually a video. You see, I have a personal challenge that I used to do that I've slowed up on. How about you wake up every day You improvise an instrumental, and then you make a video for it, and then you upload it to at least 10 social media sites. Most people don't even have 10 social media sites that they go and visit. And that's the thing. You might have your friends who like YouTube, other people might have their friends who like TikTok, somebody else might like SoundCloud, Instagram, Facebook, so on and so why not place your work, your product on every platform you can think of? You see, that's my normal day. I'm a producer. I don't spend that much time going into a platform and scrolling to see what people are talking about. Most of the time, I'm uploading something, and you have the amount of time that it takes for me to upload what I have, and then I'm looking at whatever is on, and then I'm going to the next platform. That means you have less than 5 minutes. Catch my attention. That's not fair to everybody else. However, I'm a producer, not a consumer. So there are certain people that I do pay attention to. I come on live 2 hours a day, not to feed my ego, not to feed anyone's ego. I'm here because there have been people who have been requesting information. I am in league with people who are looking for a safe place for assembly, for commerce, for education, for residence, for agriculture. Angel means messenger. Discipline means how you use your abilities. We've been going for about 22 minutes. Usually we go for at least 2 hours. Since I'm using a new platform, I do realize that on TikTok, they do have times where they will check the screen and say that you have to certify that you are a living, breathing person. The program that I am using does have a way for me to go to the second screen to interact completely with TikTok. However, it takes me away from the screen I'm interacting with now. And last night I ran some tests and I found out that it's doing a simultaneous cast. So this is an extension of the test I ran last night. I had to go through 2 different rounds, or actually three. And two of them I had no sound because I was testing if I could use my earphones. That didn't work. Eventually I had to figure out I had to use just the speakerphone technique. Later on, I plan to use Bluetooth. This is a nomad studio situation. I'm not using engineering soundboards. There are things that I do with technology only using two phones, or one phone and a tablet, or just one phone. Highest Heights Studio is actually a registered business and label with music. 5 albums are out. I speak about 10 different special interest groups to show how they can be interdependently connected as entrepreneurships. And then their service in the community is a positive byproduct. This is what we speak on a daily basis. I'm going to play some music to close this round out because we've made it to the 25-minute mark. I'm going to check out what's going on behind the scenes. and see what the live review looks like on the both of the different platforms. And after I check the analytics, I'll come back and do a part 2 to this live because we're having a party. I appreciate everyone who has stopped through on both sides of it. And we're doing what's called rocking and rolling. We were rocking and rolling before the electric guitar. We were rocking and rolling on boats before that boat that no one wants to talk about because we were already on boats, traveling, visiting, and casting nets. So we're going to keep on rocking and rolling. This party is actually called We're Taking Off on a Voyage. We're going on a journey. Jay, Jamie, Jaime, if you're still here, I do appreciate you and your interaction. I really do. And, it's like a game of 21. No harm, no foul. You didn't elbow me, I didn't elbow you. No harm, no foul. You just have a conversation. It's not about debating. Nice. It's actually showing that I'm live right now using a different account to look at YouTube. But yeah, it's showing that I'm live. That's awesome. Meanwhile, song I want to play before we close out. And I'm kind of excited about the fact that this program, the camera for the device, picks up better. I see that there's still stuttering and buffering going on, but there's a little bit more clarity in the screen. We actually do listening parties, and I want to add in the visual elements because I actually take out time and make some nice videos, even though what you're seeing might just be from a reflective TV surface. It gives you an idea of what you can find on the social media platforms. That's the idea behind this particular broadcasting. We're talking about how you can use these social media platforms to your advantage and not just someone saying, hey, pay $10 and I'll tie your profile into these different places and you're on the market. We go deeper than that. Our father's peace to everyone who catches this. Yeah, it's still doing about the same. There we go. Our father's peace to everyone. Our father's peace to everyone. Our father's peace to everyone who catches this message. Our father's peace to everyone. Our father's peace to our father's peace to everyone who catches this message. Our father's peace to everyone who catches this message. It's time for a party. Today's party is called Are You a Bulwark or Are You a Levee? a bulwark? What's a bulwark? What's a bulwark? Remember that brick wall we talked about in the last section? Difficulties, protectors, defense mechanisms. What's a levee? What's a levee? What's a levee? What's a levee? A structure that holds back water. In today's there's a lot of saturation. There's a lot of saturation in things that are needed and necessary, and there's also a lot of saturation in trinkets. We're going to think about this in terms. We're going to think about this in terms of. We're going to think about. We're going to think about. We're going to think about this in terms of. We're going to think about this in terms of consumers and producers. We made it to section 5. We're going to talk about market analysis, target market definition, market needs, market trends, market growth. We're going to think about this, and we're going to think about this in terms of. So let's talk about market analysis. You're dealing with stop programming, the highest high student, looking at independent contractors who specialize. There's all kinds of skills and trades out there. You happen to be a talent scout. Cleaning houses or building houses are both two different types of trades and skills. We're going to think about this in terms of. We're going to think about this in terms of. We're going to think about. We're going to think about. We're going to think about this in terms of. Go. And you stop. About his piece to everyone who catches it. About his piece to everyone who catches it. About his piece to everyone who catches it. We're going to think about this, and we're going to think about this, and we're going to think about this in terms of. We're going to think about it. We're going to think about. We're going to think about this in terms of consumers and producers. We're going to think about this in terms of consumers and producers. In the grocery delivery system, even drop shipment. We're going to think about this, and we're going to think about this in terms of the grocery delivery system, even drop shipment, social media network, consignment for general contact and contracts, initiations, processing digital media platforms for exposure. Start on, go after you stop. Go after you stop. Go after you stop. I've always pieced there one catch the message. Go after you stop. I've always pieced there one catch the message. All right. We're going to pause for the cause right there. Telling on myself. Welcome, foolish mortal. Now you know I like to watch cinema scenes. I want to thank everybody for hanging out. We are about to take a little break because I do want to run back the analytics to see what's going on. This has been a test. I appreciate everyone for spending time. And until next round, our Father's peace be with you. Shalom Barak. Assalamu alaikum.